Boys and girls, I'm so excited today because I get to read to you another one of my favorite books called The Parable of the Lily. And this story is super special, so I'm going to start reading it to you right now. It is written by Liz Curtis Higgs. One wintry day, the farmer's young daughter shuffled through the snow and headed for the mailbox at the end of the lane. Brr! It was cold. She peered inside the mailbox and found a small white envelope. Surprise! It was addressed to her. Dear Maggie, the letter began. I'm sending you a very special gift. Look for it soon. Maggie loved getting presents, especially a gift as mysterious as this one. When would it come? Who was it from, and what would it be? The farmer's daughter waited and waited, some days patiently and some days not so patiently. But then one very ordinary day, a box appeared on her doorstep. The gift had arrived. The farmer watched as his daughter excitedly tore off the wrapping paper. He was eager to see what she thought of her present. But Maggie didn't say a word. She just stared at the small wooden crate full of dirt. Dirt? Dirt was not at all what Maggie had hoped for. Poking out of the soil was a small piece of paper that told Maggie how to care for her gift. Hide in a cool, dark place. Water as needed. And when spring comes, bring it into the light. Well, then she knew it must be a growing thing like a bulb that would someday bloom into a plant. Oh dear, her long-awaited gift wasn't a toy or a doll or even a game after all. The farmer, he could see that his daughter was very disappointed. He grew sad because the gift was from him. With a sigh, Maggie carried the wooden box down the steps into the darkest corner of the cellar or the basement, and she left it there on a shelf. Sometimes she remembered to water it, but most of the time Maggie just plain forgot. But the farmer did not forget. He just waited and he watched. Spring had come at last. The air was warmer and the gray skies had turned into robin's egg blue. Oh, what a welcome sight the sun was. It was time for the farmer to hoe his garden, getting the soil ready for the seeds that filled his pockets. Oh, look at his seeds in his pockets. Maggie wanted to help, so she marched down the cellar steps to get her own Maggie-sized gardening tools. But that's when it happened. Searching for her toolbox in the darkest corner of the cellar, Maggie knocked the forgotten crate of dirt off the shelf. Crash! The crate splintered into pieces. Soil was everywhere, and the flower bulb that rolled to her feet showed no signs of life. Oh, that's so sad, boys and girls. What a mess! Now Maggie was mad at the box and even madder at herself. She swept up the dirt and threw away the broken box, grumbling under her breath. And that ugly old flower bulb, well, she tossed it out the cellar door, never to think of it again. Until Maggie woke up earlier than usual Easter morning. A warm breeze blew through her bedroom window and the chirping birds seemed to call her name. Still dressed in her nightgown, Maggie tiptoed out into the garden. She was hoping to find some daffodils or tulips to decorate the table for Easter breakfast. And that's when she saw it. The loveliest lily that God ever made was blooming on the edge of her father's flower garden. Its white petals unfolded like a trumpet. Its leaves were green with new life, and its scent, the way it smelled, boys and girls, was as fragrant as the most expensive perfume. Maggie knew all at once what had happened. She didn't know whether to laugh or cry or shout with joy, so Maggie did all three at once. "Wake up, everybody! Wake up! Come see! My gift is alive!" So her family hurried out to the garden. They couldn't believe their eyes. So much beauty had come from an ugly box of dirt. Maggie noticed the farmer standing in the doorway, quietly watching. His smile gave way to his secret. "Father, it was you who gave me the lily," she squealed. And then her smile suddenly began to fade. Oh dear. She'd thrown away her father's gift without so much as a thank you. Oh, how that must have hurt him. "I'm sorry, Daddy," she said, putting her little arms around his big waist. "Will you forgive me?" "Oh, my child," the farmer said, hugging her tight. "That's what Easter is all about." And that's the end of our story, the parable of the lily. So I have something you might want to do today. If around the house you'd like to create a lily for someone special, find some white paper, and I traced my hands 2 times. Then I'm going to put them on top of each other, kind of like we did when we made hearts out of our hands. And then I found some green paper and I kind of folded it in a way so that I could put it right in the middle of these 2 hands. And with this green paper, I hope to wrap my hands around it. Let me get more tape. And make a lily of my own. Let's see if I can get it to work. Oh, I did it one-handed. Woo! So I now have a hand lily that I made, and I can give this to anybody I'd like. I might want to put another little piece of paper inside here, make a little yellow in the middle, and I can wish people Happy Easter and show them that I made my own Easter lily out of my hands. I hope you have a wonderful weekend celebrating, because Jesus is risen, boys and girls. He is risen indeed, and that's something to trumpet about. And whether we trumpet it with a trumpet or trumpet it with a flower that looks like a trumpet and smells beautiful, have a happy Easter. Bye-bye.